So the iPhone Air might be the most beautiful phone that Apple have made. The form factor is truly stunning and the display is just perfect. And I've been really impressed whilst been using this phone. But there's one area that we really need to talk about, and that's the compromise they are making with the camera. If it really matters to you, then you might want to keep watching to see whether this is worth spending your money on. So before we jump into the camera and the compromises that you get with using the iPhone Air, let's talk about the design and how it feels in hand. So the first thing that I noticed when I unboxed the iPhone Air was really how thin it actually was. Now that seems like an obvious point, as this has been marketed as their thinnest phone ever. But at 5.5, 5.4 millimeters, it really is. And the weight, it is really light to match up with that thinness. So when you have it in hand, it feels like you're not really holding anything. And that's nice. But even though it only weighs 145 grams, this still feels really solid and premium. And the reason being is that it is made with titanium and ceramic shield for the back. So this feels really durable, and not that I've tried to bend it much, but it does feel like it is not going to bend. So if you sit on it in your back pocket, I think you're going to be safe. And I actually rock this caseless sometimes because I am confident that if I do drop it, it's going to be okay. So one of the other things that you are not getting with the iPhone Air is a SIM tray. So this is eSIM only, and that's to accommodate how thin it is and being able to get the battery in. Now that is slightly annoying. I like having a SIM. It's easy to swap between phones, but actually switching now is pretty easy, and I did it within a few minutes and it was up and running. So let's talk about the display on this. And this is a real sweet spot in my opinion at 6.5 inches. Not so big that you can't use it one-handed, and not too small that you're not getting the beauty of the display itself. So they really hit the nail on the head with that 6.5 inch display. So in terms of the display itself, it is crisp, it is clear, and you are going to get the same experience that you get on the Pro. You have 3000 nits worth of brightness, so you're going to have no problem looking at this in the sun. And in terms of the beautiful screen, it's perfect for scrolling and watching content. So in general, the design for me is beautiful. I really love it. I really appreciate it. And it's taking me back to peak iPhone design days of the iPhone X, which I think is a really good and smart move on Apple's front. So just to say, if you're enjoying this content, then why not hit the subscribe button? I try to release videos like this every couple of weeks, which are going through the latest and greatest tech and how they fit into my workflow and how they could fit into yours. So let's move on now to the performance and battery life of the iPhone Air. So this is an area where I have been pleasantly surprised when using this phone. Performance has been perfect, no different to what I've experienced on my Pro when I'm using it for everyday things like messaging, scrolling and social media. It comes with the same chip as the Pro, with the A19 Pro, so you are getting really super performance. What I would say though is I have not gamed using this and I haven't used video extensively. So I would think that this would get pretty toasty if you were going to hit up some games and using it for long video sessions. So that leads in nicely to the battery. So the battery performance as well has been solid on this phone. So you're getting a 3149 milliamp battery with this. So it is obviously smaller than the Pro and also the 17, but you are still getting an all-day battery with this, depending on how you use it. So what I've used it for, I can get through the day, and granted, by the time I go to bed, it needs to be charged, but I charge it every night anyway. So that's with checking messages, responding to messages, socials, and watching content. Nothing extreme in terms of gaming, as we've mentioned, or video content on this. So it is going to last you if that is all you are using it for a day. And I don't have any battery anxiety when it comes to this phone. Now, if you are somebody who does get battery anxiety, then you can chuck on a MagSafe power bank onto this. Apple have done their own, but you can also use a third-party one like one I have here, which is the Sarge Ice Mag 2, and that will easily just click onto the back and start charging it. I have reviewed this on my channel already, so I will link the video up here and you can check that out as well. Okay, so here we are. Let's talk about the cameras, and this is where you are going to be making some compromises with this phone. So this comes with the 48 megapixel main fusion camera that you'll get on the other handsets, but that is the only lens that you are getting. And that means that you are missing out on telephoto and wide-angled lenses here. And it also means that you're not getting things like cinematic mode, ProRes, and things like that. Now, I thought that I could manage without having multiple lenses and that I wouldn't have a problem with this. But I went with my daughter out for the day and we were taking some photos at this farm, and I wanted to zoom in, and with the Air, you're only getting the 1x and 2x optical zoom, and then you're into the digital zoom, which goes up to 10x. The optical zooms were not doing it for me, and as soon as I tried to go into the digital zooms, I was losing quality pretty quickly. So luckily I did have my Pro with me, so I was able to pull that out and get the pictures that I wanted, but that would be a massive compromise for me going forward. And that's one of the main reasons why this will not be my main phone. My main SIM is actually in my Pro. However, you do still get the same selfie camera that you are getting on the others. So in that respect, it's great. Moving over to the video side, again, you are making compromises. You only have that one lens and you only have a limited amount of zoom that you're going to be able to use. And you are missing out on log, you are missing out on ProRes, and you're missing out on cinematic mode. I think the video is going to be less of a concern to people because I think most people are just going to be taking normal standard videos. But if you are somebody who uses it to create content and you're relying on that, then this is certainly not going to be enough for you guys. So who is this phone for? So I can certainly tell you who it's not for, and people who are valuing camera setup and video. This is definitely not a phone for you. Who it is for? It's a little bit more difficult to answer, I think. I think it's for people who are genuine Apple fans who want to try the latest and greatest, something that is slightly new that they've not released in recent years, something that gives you the ability to do your everyday tasks and you're not particularly hung up on having the best camera setup out there, then yeah, this is probably worth you guys having a look. But at £999, it's an expensive phone for what you're getting, in my opinion. I think, yes, in terms of the premium build, yeah, it's solid, but I don't think it's £100 less solid than the Pro, and I certainly don't think that it's £200 more than the 17. I think this should be priced more around the 17, in my opinion. And I think if Apple are going to look to do an updated version, they should at least try and get another camera in. So there you go. There are my thoughts of living with this phone for the past month. I've really enjoyed my time with this phone, but my main SIM card will be going in my Pro and staying there for the foreseeable future. I will continue to use this phone because I do enjoy using it. It is beautiful and feels great. But for me, it's just got too many compromises for me to be going out solely with this phone. And those are the compromises that I hope you guys think about before you go and spending your hard-earned cash on this phone. But there you go. That's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And again, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel grow. And I will see you in the next one.